Hi, everyone. It's Lori from Crystal Earth Magic. I wanted to talk today about our perception of time. We are all perceiving that time is accelerating. It seems as if each and every day we have the perception of less time to do what we want to do. And you're not going crazy because it really is speeding up. In the higher realms, we understand that they perceive time completely differently. There is no time, there is no space. It's completely different than our linear time. But down here on Earth, we have agreed to experience linear time. And as we expand our consciousness into the higher dimensions, we start to experience time differently. So first, let's discuss what's going on linear time-wise and why it seems like it's sped up. Certainly, we can talk about different models about the Earth rotating faster, all of those kinds of things. But what is really of importance, in my opinion, is that as we move through this part of the galaxy that has a higher frequency, that has a lot more energy, that has a lot of cosmic energies bombarding the Earth, everything is accelerating, meaning that it's evolving or devolving. So those of us who are evolving, or at least attempting to do so, we are finding this time acceleration incredibly prevalent in our lives. So as we raise the frequency, everything begins to move faster. So if you think of something like a singing bowl that has a certain cycles per second or hertz, as we raise the frequency of the bowl, it vibrates more times per second, or the hertz are higher, meaning it's got so many vibrations per second. And that's how we on Earth label our time, by frequency. Well, it's the same thing with people. So as we are raising our consciousness, raising our frequency, we're moving out of the third dimension into the fourth dimension. Most of us that are attempting to raise our consciousness are already reaching the higher fourth dimension. And some of us are even foraying into the fifth dimension for good parts of our day, or at least when we are meditating and doing things that we love. So as this happens, the cycles per second, or the amount we vibrate per second, increases. And so we really are accelerating our frequency, and we're accelerating how we perceive time. So we have all been in experiences, in events in our life where it seems that time doesn't flow the way that we're used to. When we're doing something we absolutely love, time can actually seem sped up, slowed down, or completely altered in the way that we experience it. And then there's also the looking at the clock, waiting for your day to end at work, or waiting to punch out, or whatever you're doing. And that can seem to drag on forever. When we are in situations that we love, when we are following our joy, when we are meditating and connecting with divine energy, when we are doing or receiving healing, connecting with divine energy, our perception of time is completely altered. And it could seem like 12 hours were 1 minute, or even vice versa, but in our day-to-day existence, we really are perceiving this speeding up in such a way that it's really, really hard to get done what you used to be able to get done in a day. And I mean, this time change thing doesn't help anyone, because it further skews how we perceive time. Even though we had an extra hour this fall when we set the clocks back, it doesn't really seem like it, does it? So I just want to say that you're not going crazy. There really is a reason for us perceiving time in this way, because things truly have accelerated. If we look around us in the world, look at how things have accelerated. Look at how things have changed in just a few short years. Look at all the information coming out to the public about things that have been going on in our world that were less than stellar, shall we say. It's all coming out now. It's a torrent of energy. And for those who are real new to all this energy, and really new to all this information, it's a lot to take in. And they may feel even more on this slippery slope of not having enough time. How do we how do we acclimate to this? Well, you know, each and every day our bodies are naturally acclimating to this, but it is coming so rapidly that it is difficult. And so often we feel exhausted. You know, we feel as if we just can't catch up. We can't catch our breath. We can't get things done that we need to do so that we have time for ourselves. But what I'm saying is, making time for yourselves is the most important thing that you can do in order to mitigate some of this crazy timeline stuff. You know, we're also in the midst of timeline shifts of which we can't really comprehend with our 3D little brains here. You know, my guides always tell us that it's like you can't possibly understand a multidimensional event from this level unless you get into meditation and start to look from above at what's happening. And as we accelerate our frequency, as we move through the lower fourth dimension, which is all that astral overlay, all that propaganda, all those thought forms that are really, really yucky. And that's what a lot of people term hell is, this lower fourth dimension. And humanity as a whole is moving through this lower fourth dimension right now, and we are seeing all of these crazy things getting uncovered. We feel as if we're being attacked from all different ways. However, once we move through that and get into the higher fourth dimensions and even the lower fifth, which we're all striving to do, if you're watching this video, you're striving to do that, I would hope. We're going to find that it gets easier. That just like anything else that we practice, that we tune into, it gets easier. You know, we have shifted so much, so fast, and I don't think we give ourselves enough credit. We may feel off balance, but that's the way of things when we are shifting as quickly as humanity and Earth are shifting right now. You know, so how do we mitigate this? Well, it's the same thing that we do for everything else. Ground into Mother Earth. She's aware of her frequency speeding up and she's all good with it. You know, yes, there are going to be earth changes. Yes, there are going to be a lot of things going on. And we're seeing that. We're just not sure what's natural and what is man-made. You know, talking about some of the earthquakes and stuff in Iceland, talking about all of the other weather and earth changes going on around the earth. We simply don't know what is natural and what is man-made. You know, so there's that too. But understand that the earth definitely is shifting and changing. So grounding into her is one of the best ways to weather this storm, so to speak. Other ways too, find your joy. You know, quit worrying about not having enough time. Quit worrying about everything that's going on around you and find your joy. What do you love to do? What do you love to do? What did you used to love to do before you thought that you didn't have time for yourself? Maybe it's time to get back to those things. What is your soul crying out for? You know, what is always in your mind that you want to do? You know, these are the things that we have to tune into in these shifting, changing times in order to keep our balance. So find your joy. You know, do you create music? Do you create art? Do you write? Do you like to create a garden? What is it that you love to do? There's so many things. Do you have ideas for a new business? You know, do you have ideas to shift out of whatever career that is sucking your soul at the moment and move into something where you can feel happier, more fulfilled, perhaps in service to others, you know, and not just in that constant daily rat race. You know, a lot of people are learning that they want to shift into something of their own, a different kind of business, a different career. And all of those things will be supported as we move forward in this energy. It may seem a little scary right now with everything kind of topsy-turvy, but get your stuff in order. You know, you'll be guided when it's time to move on something like that. You know, you just trust that. The more that you cultivate that relationship with spirit, you'll know when it's time to move on something. You know, so again, start thinking about what you would really want to do with your life. You know, when you grow up, meaning when we raise our frequency and get past all of this yucky stuff that we're going through right now. Other things too, getting out in nature, certainly finding time to meditate, even if it's just for a few minutes a day. It is so important. All of these things help us to come into balance with this perceived time acceleration that's going on. You know, I know a lot of us feel just beat down, exhausted, tired, can't go on. You just need a week to lay on the couch to catch up. Yeah, I get it. And it's not just you. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not sick. There's nothing wrong with you. You're just perceiving what's going on in the cosmos that is raining down on the earth and all of humanity. Those who have no idea anything's going on are really feeling it. And I've heard from a lot of you that, people around you are just losing it. They're going crazy. They're nasty. They're extremely anxious. They're frustrated. We can feel that way too, even though we know what's going on, but we have to do the things that help us. We have so many tools, and as we do these things, others can see that, oh, they're working for us. Maybe they want to try it too. And they'll ask you what you're doing. So again, it's always the basics: grounding, meditation, getting out in nature, doing the things that bring you joy, the things that you love. Looking to shift things that aren't working for you now. For instance, your job, where you live, your relationships, looking to shift those things. It doesn't mean you have to do everything in one day, but it means that these ideas, these higher consciousness points begin to filter into your psyche. And when the time is right, you will know what to do. It's always, we go back to the same things. Also, self-healing is so important. Whether you're doing Reiki or working with crystals on yourself, whether you're working with your herbs and your flowers, whether you are, whatever it is, but certainly meditation, that helps you. Listen for that subtle voice inside of you that is giving you all the answers that you need at these times. When we incarnated here on Earth this lifetime, we knew it wasn't going to be easy. We knew that we were going to be seemingly cut off from our source and have to find our way back. Now, finding our way back means that we have to be still and silent, and we have to find that time. Whether or not it seems as if time is accelerated beyond that possibility, we have to find that time. That will help us to slow it down, and it will help us to be able to actually contemplate what we want to do, to receive those messages from our higher self and spirit, what we want to do, because everything's going to be changing moving forward. Every institution is crumbling right now. Everything has to happen the way it's happening. And the sooner that we can become more in balance with these shifts and stop fighting them and stop saying, what's wrong with me? Oh my gosh, the world's going to hell in a handbasket. It isn't. It's simply shifting, and everything that was ugly for millennia is getting uncovered now. And that also seems to accelerate the timeline because we're finding out things so rapidly. So again, hopefully this was helpful. A lot of you are just feeling so, like I said, exhausted or out of it, or something's wrong with you. There isn't. You're just evolving. So take that time for yourself. Do what you know helps. Do healing, get healing, do Reiki, get Reiki, whatever. Work with your tools that you know how to do, and absolutely get out in nature. We've had this beautiful fall here in Northeast Ohio where the temperatures are still beautiful. It's very sunny today. Get out there and enjoy it, and just be silent. Stop worrying about everything and everybody around you just for a moment, because if you aren't centered and you aren't doing well, you're not going to be able to help anyone else. And get that through your heads, because this is really important. So many of you are givers, service to others, individuals. But if you don't fill yourself up, you're not going to be of much service to anyone else, because when you fall down, who's going to pick you up, right? So anyway, just a little thought for the day about that time acceleration. It really is happening. Our perception of time has accelerated. We need to find those quiet times to get out of time and connect with our soul, with our spirit team, with nature, with all of the beautiful things that we love. And that will help us through this transition, because it's not going to slow down anytime soon. We're just going to get more used to it. Okay, so this is Lori with Crystal Earth Magic. Hopefully this was helpful, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Have a beautiful day. Get out there and enjoy it.